Yo, what is going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be discussing who the next Wizard King in Black Clover could be. Now, straight away, I want to say, if you guys are anime only, I just want to say that this video will contain spoilers for the anime from the manga. So if you're not interested in any of that and don't want to be spoiled, I do recommend you click off this video now, as this is now your spoiler warning. Now, with all of that out of the way, I'm really excited to discuss this because it's a very interesting topic, and for me, I think there's, and I think for most people anyway, there's two stand-out characters that fit the role of Wizard King. Now, I should probably say that no, those two characters aren't Asta or Yuno. I mean, I think one of them will be the Wizard King at some point. However, right now, at this point in the story, no chance. I don't think Asta nor Yuno are going to be close to the Wizard King position just yet. However, those two candidates I think could possibly be Yami Tsukihiro and Fuegelio. But first, I want to hear from you guys. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below who you think the next Wizard King will be. I want to know who you want it to be, but kind of maybe who you think it will be. And I'll kind of get into my opinions on that in a second in the video, because I have a character I want it to be, but I also have a character who I think it will be. So then first up is Yami. Now, Yami is a fan favourite. I think he's a lot of people's favourite character in Black Clover. And Yami is quite clearly more than strong enough to take on the title of the Wizard King. However, I do think there's a couple of things kind of holding him back from taking up that position. But before we get into those, I want to kind of cover more of his positive sides as to what attributes he has to get himself to become the Wizard King. And they, obviously, like I said, he's more than strong enough to be the Wizard King. Like, Yami is an absolute monster. There's not many people that can beat Yami, let alone go toe to toe with Yami. Also, he doesn't group everybody up into groups of status. For example, he doesn't split the royalty and the wealthy with the commoners and the peasants and the outsiders. He doesn't group them all together because Yami himself is an outsider. He came from a different country. He is a foreigner. And for that reason, he understands how people like Asta feel. And that is why he went on to create the Black Bulls and create this Magic Knight Squad full of so-called problem children who weren't accepted by other people in the country. I also feel as though Yami would be the people's choice for the Wizard King, and by that I mean, you know, he's kind of like the fairy tale type guy. And by fairy tale, I don't mean the anime fairy tale, I mean like a legitimate fairy tale. How, like, he was looked down upon, he wasn't accepted, he came from a foreigner, he worked his way up to the top through pure willpower and sheer strength, and, you know, he made friends with the Wizard King, blah blah blah, and through all of this hardship, he's finally reached the top of the pops in the Wizard King. It would also show that anybody can reach that role, and that especially would be very, very huge for someone like Asta, who is, you know, poor and from the boomies, as they say. It would be very, very important and impactful for someone like Yasta to see Yami conquer through all of the negativity and being told that there's no chance to then finally reach the top and reach what Asta's goal is. However, the negatives as to why I don't think he'll be the Wizard King now, unfortunately, they're pretty big ones. Ultimately, I don't think he's going to have a chance of being the Wizard King, purely for the fact that I feel like it could really break up one of the main components of the story that everybody loves, and that is Yami's relationship with the rest of the squad. I think if you take away Yami from the Black Bulls, you don't really have the Black Bulls anymore. It's kind of like taking a huge chunk out of the Black Bulls squad's personality and removing it. And personally, I feel as though, although it could work, it is a huge, huge risk for the writers to do this, because on one hand, it could do really well. They could then introduce the vice captain of the Black Bulls finally, and it could all go swimmingly from there. or they could take Yami out and then whoever his replacement is, maybe if they finally introduce the vice captain because we've never met him before, maybe, you know, we won't instantly kind of click with whoever his replacement is, and it could just kind of feel a bit of a, you know, it's not the same Black Bulls anymore. And also, kind of similar, I don't really think Yami would want to be the Wizard King. He strikes me as someone who would be kind of like a Jiraiya in Naruto, who was proposed to be the Hokage, but him himself said, I appreciate the offer, but it's not my type of deal. It's not something I personally want to take on. I don't really think Yami, I don't think Yami would turn down the offer because he doesn't want to be the Wizard King. More so, I feel as though he wouldn't want to leave this group of problem children, which he's so connected to in the Black Bull squad. I just feel as though he's got that sentimental attachment that, you know, he's this big badass and he's a hard man. But ultimately, I do think he has a soft side in him, and that is for his squad of dumbasses, as he calls them. I don't think he would want to leave them. I think like the only reason he would be the Wizard King over, because I know I just said he'd never leave the Black Bulls, the only reason I could possibly think of him willing to take that offer on is if Julius formally asked him to be the new Wizard King prior to his death. That's the only way I could see Yami deciding that this is the correct choice in his story. Now, the character I do think is going to be the Wizard King, and I'm sure it's very obvious as to why I do think that's, and that's obviously Fuegoleon, because up until a couple of chapters ago, Yami was the only candidate I could think of at the minute that was Wizard King worthy. However, now with the reintroduction of Fuegoleon, it's become very clear to me that he's going to be the new Wizard King. Now, straight off the bat, he's already got a ton of what I already went over with Yami. That being, he doesn't judge people through social status. We've seen this because he's very fond of Asta. He backs up Asta actually when I think Nozel, is that his name? He was kind of degrading and discriminating against Asta. Fuegoleon stood up to Asta and protected him and sided with him, showing that, you know, he doesn't group up all these people together into separate standings of popularity or wealth or anything like that. He groups everyone the same, just like Yami did, like I said. But on top of that, he's also a member of royalty. We know he's incredibly strong. He's now got the salamander spirit, which is just going to make him even stronger. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of chapters how incredible he is at the minute. Like, this man is a monster. Another thing I think Fuegoleon has above Yami is his analytical ability in tough, dire, urgent situations. And I'm not saying that Yami doesn't have those abilities, because he does. I just feel as though Fuegoleon is in a kind of league in his own when it comes to being cool, calm and collected when he needs to be, which I think if you're going to be a Wizard King and you're going to have to make possibly vital decisions for the fate of your kingdom, you have to have that cool, calm and collected personality and analytical ability, and that's something Fuegoleon most definitely has. He's already loved by, I'd say, pretty much everybody in the kingdom, which is vital again for becoming the Wizard King, because he will have the people on his side. I mean, he is a noble at the end of the day, and I know I said he doesn't group people up in social standing and everything, and neither does Yami or anything like that, but other people do, and Fuegoleon being a noble will help him become the Wizard King, in my opinion. As well as being cool, calm and collected and very analytical, like we saw actually when the royal capital was getting attacked, he's the one that gave out the orders to all the Magic Knight squads, captains. I also feel as though he's very wise, and he has that no-nonsense ability and mentality about him that if he needs to be, he will be that front man on the front lines dealing the damage, and I think he's more than willing to die for the kingdom. And I mean, Yami is as well. He's all of that. I just feel as though Fuegoleon has just a little bit of an edge above Yami in the running of Wizard King. the big main giveaway as to why I think Fuegoleon will be the new Wizard King over Yami is the fact that Fuegoleon's replacement is already here. Like I said at the start of this video earlier on, Yami's replacement, it'd be a bit of a risk because we have no idea who it could possibly be. Whereas with Fuegoleon, we've already become accustomed and used to Fuegoleon's older sister. So it just makes the transition of... Because why would we need to get attached to Fuegoleon's older sister as the Magic Knight captain now if Fuegoleon was only going to replace her? Fuegoleon's back now. He doesn't really have a role at the minute in the story, so I don't think he's going to be the Magic Knight captain again. That's now all of his sister's role. So I think the only option left for him has to be the Wizard King. But guys, that's it for this video. Like I said, I want to hear your opinions and thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not ready to become a member of the Senpai Squad. And I'll see you guys in another video. But until then, peace.